This is WZRD Chicago, 88.3 FM. And we have with us at WZRD, Anna. Let me make sure that I pronounce your name correctly. Anna Maria Skalicki and Xander Kazanowski. They are, hang on just a second. They are owners of Boho Barbie Ken in Rogers Park. We are also, WZRD reached out to the LGBTQ community in Rogers Park that was having a conflict with the Boho Barbie Ken, and they said that there is no way that they would interview with us, and they asked me. Let me just make sure that I have this correct. Okay. Oops. They wanted to Anna and Xander, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, it's just
Yes.
me today.
Oh,
sorry
okay,
about that.
Anna. No, that's okay. Thank you. Let me just give a little background for the audience so that they know what's up. We did reach out to one of the organizers of the people who protested against you, and they said that they asked for me. They said that, but if you want to do better, you as a person, as a human being, should denounce his hate and the wrongdoing. Don't you want that as a member of the community, as an admin for the RPCC and a Facebook page? Why don't you say something about his hate? I keep wondering. So we did reach out to this member of the community and asked him to join us on this interview so that we could have both sides. I replied that it's not my job to present my views. It is my intention to bring out the views of both sides of the issue and have our listeners decide for themselves. Anna, would you like to tell us a little bit about your business and about the background of this situation and conflict?
Hi, yeah, so we started doing this business a couple of years ago, mostly online. We started, finding vintage goods and selling them. And that kind of just expanded from there. We did markets, and eventually we came across the opportunity to have a brick and mortar. We were helping out a friend. She needed us to sublet the space for her while she went through some surgeries, and we were, more than happy to step in. It was right after I had our little Dorothea. She's 6 months now. But right around April is when we opened the store. So we started, we just kind of threw ourselves into the community. And I knew a little bit about Rogers Park beforehand, and I learned that I knew that they were very, welcoming and a diverse group of people. So I was very excited to be involved in the community, and I put out a quick little, hey, we're here in Rogers Park on Facebook. I put out like a little thing that we were having a grand opening. And interestingly enough, I didn't mention Xander's name at all, or didn't mention him in the conversation. I just had a picture of the three of us, me, him, and the baby. And people started to comment screenshots from his public Facebook of just his personal, political, and religious opinions and things that we believe are true religiously. And so they started commenting those screenshots without me even mentioning his name. So somebody, went into my background, his background, started stalking us, and then found all this information. And then it kind of just went from there, where people, they actually made flyers and they started to protest the shop, and in hopes that we would leave. that they would scare us off and leave. So they did. They came and protested for 2 weeks. They said that they were going to keep returning until they ran us out of Rogers Park, but shortly after it diffused. And but we continue to get hate every once in a while online or through the bad reviews posted on our Google business page, or our Facebook page as well. So there's fake reviews. Thankfully they were taken down on Google, but they were not taken down on Facebook. So you can see on our page we have like a 2-star rating or something ridiculous like that. But none of these people have been in the shop, maybe a couple, and then after learning about our political and religious beliefs, they quickly changed the review, even though we were very kind to them in the store, gave them a great experience, and they did leave good reviews, and they would change them to bad reviews, all because they do not agree with us.
Mm-hmm. Have you spoken with any other businesses about whether they encountered something similar to what you have encountered?
So I haven't spoke with anyone in particular, but some people have stopped in and they just kind of express their support for us and what we're doing. And a couple of individuals say, thank you for speaking out on these topics, because they don't want to get the same reaction from the community. So I think there's a level of uncertainty and fear when it comes to speaking out and being truthful and being honest in your own opinions and what you believe in. There's definitely a layer of fear that can be involved in that, because you don't want the quote unquote mob to get you.
And those people that they come out to give you some support, do you know if they're business owners or are they just customers and people that live in the community?
So it was a mixture of business owners and patrons, supporters, just people who wanted to shop. There were some business owners, but mainly just people that wanted to show their support, and they'll continually, periodically, they'll come in and just check up on us and see what's going on. It was really interesting, actually, because through all of the interviews we've been having, we've been getting some national attention as well. We were interviewed by the Washington Examiner, just one example, and there was a lot of support that came in through the website. People were, asking to help us out, how can we help, kind of stuff. And we actually got a couple of letters in the mail and of people from as far as Texas sending us their support and their love, and just admiring that we are not afraid to speak our minds and speak the truth. And that's what this country was founded on, the beliefs that, we do have these freedoms and they shouldn't be taken away from us. So that's what we continue to practice, and nothing will stop us from that.
You said that they protested the first week and then they protested the next week. So in the weeks after that, they didn't protest anymore outside, on Sundays.
No, there was no more protests. After the 2 weeks, we were expecting them again, but the third week, it was a bunch of supporters that came out. So it was just supporters that came out that third week. So it was definitely a lot different mood. It was a lot more, calming and happy. Everybody was just, happy to be there to support us and, stick behind us during that time, because, for a bit, they did hurt business for a bit, but in the end, like long term, I think that they, against their own thoughts and wishes, they helped us by drawing attention from other groups nationally as well. So we got a lot of people just fighting the good fight on our side.
Do your customers, are they able to order from you nationally too through the website? Do you get supporters?
Yeah, so I'm building the website myself right now, and I have a small shop on the website that you can see a couple of products. And there's like a PayPal link, but it's all, in the works of building an entire catalog. We just get so much in and out every day. But it is something that I'm building currently. But if people did want to support us, I do give them options on, where to donate and where to help out, or if they want to buy something and, they see something on our Instagram, which we post mainly on our Instagram. So if you see something there and you like it, we'll ship it out to you.
And when you say that you were getting a lot of supporters in week 3, then what happened in the weeks afterwards? It's been like about, I think, 6 or 7 weeks since the first protest, right? Approximately.
Right. Yeah, approximately 6 or 7 weeks. And honestly, it's been a mix, mostly people have been leaving bad reviews on Facebook if they hear about us, maybe from the community. Every once in a while, we get a bad review on Facebook. And then the Google one stopped because they must have caught on because I was reporting them so much for being fake. So the Google one stopped, and then we've been getting emails from people showing their support. And other than that, somebody has been adding our email to a bunch of these email lists that just spam us with, things that don't pertain to our business at all. So I guess that was a little prank someone pulled on us, but nothing too damaging, nothing harmful.
What other negative reactions have you received besides, in addition to your emails being added to a list that you wouldn't want to be on?
Sure. So every time I post in one of the neighborhood groups for Rogers Park, I get some pushback just for simply posting, not saying anything mean, but people they'll comment like, "Oh, you're the wife of this person, yada yada," and they don't want to even deal with me. Although they haven't kicked me out of the group, I'm still in the group. They they'll typically bully me, or they'll make rude and negative comments about me, or about Xander. And then other than that, sometimes I'll post something for sale and then I'll share it to other groups, and they'll do the same thing. They're like, "Oh, aren't you the owner of Boho Barbie Ken?" And it's just a bunch of internet bullies trying to feel strong in the moment.
When you first arrived in Rogers Park, did you get any welcome?
I did. I got some welcome from local businesses. Even the alderwoman came and we did the ribbon cutting ceremony. But it was very interesting because when you look at all the pictures of the other businesses that were doing the ribbon cutting ceremony, we were the only ones that she did not take a picture with us. We were the only ones that she was not in the picture. So I thought that was very interesting. And so we got some welcome from the community and local businesses, people across the street. And we had that grand opening, so a lot of people came through for that. A lot of our previous customers who bought from us online, they came and showed their support. And then the foot traffic, people just walking through the neighborhood, that was always good. So yeah, it was pretty nice. I think a lot of the animosity mostly lived online. Nobody ever came in the store and tried to talk to me or speak to me about these things or just have like a simple debate. It was always online where people could hide behind their keyboards and say these things.
How long was it between the ribbon cutting and the first protest?
So I would say the first ribbon cutting, I could check exact dates, but it was sometime in May where the ribbon cutting happened. And then I would say it was like 1 or 2 weeks after it happened.
1 or 2 weeks later, then there was the protest, you mean,
yes, right? Yeah. It was hosted by Gerardo from Food Not Bombs, Rogers Park Food Not Bombs.
Mm-hmm. And what was the ribbon cutting? Was there what was it planned? Were you invited to the ribbon cutting? How did it come about?
So I got a phone call a couple of days earlier from one of her city workers. I forgot the name of the woman who called me, but she let me know that they were doing this in the community. They do it every year for new businesses or quarterly or whatever she said. And so I said, yeah, that's great. We'll be there. We'll show up. It was a day that we typically weren't open. So we just went there. It was a couple of days later. So I thought it was, kind of last minute because it was like a few days before where she called me. And it was I guess it was like a whole day thing. They went to a couple of businesses down the street and did the same thing with them, just like new people in the community. So, yeah, it wasn't that much notice, but we made it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then so was the other woman there, or was she not there? She didn't take a picture with you, or she was there and didn't take a picture with you?
She was there and she took the picture. So she was the only one not in the photograph when
Mm-hmm.
all of the other businesses, she was in the photograph.
Mm-hmm. When do you want to give us a little content? Maybe some listeners are not familiar with what the issues were. Are you okay with telling us what it was that these protesters were uh, protesting about, and then so at least the listeners know about the background of the issue.
Yes, of course. So mainly they were directed towards Facebook posts that Xander put on his personal Facebook page. And they were memes, like jokes about mainly, they were memes that were religious, but also a little bit political. The whole trans debate right now, the trans issue. So there was, some that were regarding that topic. And then there was some as silly as he posted a joke saying that people who drink almond milk can only carry it by the half gallon because they're not strong enough to carry the full gallon. And people were really upset about that one. And then other than that, he posts Bible verses, things that are pertaining to our religion of Christianity and the truths that we believe. And also just the evident truth of the biological differences between men and women and how we are inherently different. And he said some things about the dangers of birth control and just speaking about what it means to be a true American as well. They don't really like those American ideals of liberty and freedom. We own multiple businesses, so they probably saw that and didn't like that. So it was just a mixture of a lot of things. Mainly, the memes really got them. Oh, another one that they didn't like was there was a joke. It said, "Mommy, why don't I go to public school?" And then the mom replies, "Because I like you as a girl, sweetie." So it's just like, little things like that where obviously if you don't agree with it, you can just keep scrolling, whatever, like go on with your day. But these people, they chose to take time out of their days and become so offended by this that they chose to try to attack our business, attack our family. And it just speaks a lot about this culture of America right now where you got these feelings are so important, but I hurt your feelings and then somehow I hurt you personally, like I hurt you. And that's what they're saying. Like they were protesting our shop mainly because they thought that we were a threat to the community. We were threatening them and making them feel unsafe. So that's the reason why they were coming at us so hard. and we really weren't hurting them in any way. We were just speaking our minds on social media. We weren't attacking anyone directly. Of course, when somebody came at us on social media, maybe we would reply with something that was, based in truth. But of course, we can't be walking doormats, but we would never directly attack anyone. We never said, that we hate anybody. It's just a lot of people that they've been showing their hate by just getting so offended by our personal opinions. So
What about your other businesses? Did they direct any retribution against your other businesses?
yes, so there was a couple of instances. So we run work services, which is a service based website where you can go on and hire a subcontractor to help you with, maybe it's like pet sitting or landscaping, everything in between. So they would go on that website through that booking services and go through the email, and they would write us these nasty messages. They were always anonymous, or they try to leave bad reviews there as well. Just the other day, someone directed one at me and said that the art community will make sure that I don't get any gigs doing murals or painting, or I do paint and sips and music as well. So they were like threatening me. So that's one of my other businesses. I do creative things like mural design, and I'll play music just like as a hobby, But they were directly threatening me they said in the email, they said because I'm associated with Xander. So I thought that was something funny to laugh about. It's hard not to take offense by them. At first I was taking offense to them, but then you're just kind of like, these people, they'd never say that to my face, so they have no grounds. But yeah, they were attacking our other businesses a little bit, and it was very interesting to see all the creative ways they were coming up with to do that.
So nobody actually ever spoke to your face about about their concerns?
It was only when the people were protesting, and even then it was hard to have, like, Xander would try to have a conversation with these people about it, and all they did was chant in our face. So there was like a total wall happening, hard to get through, a lack of understanding. They want us to have empathy for them, but then they don't realize that not everyone agrees with their ideas, and that's okay. And that's why this country's a wonderful country, because there's all these different kinds of people with different ideas and beliefs, and we could still all come together at the end of the day because we all share the same freedom.
When did they give you, when they chanted, did they give any list of their requests or demands? Besides like not wanting you there, or did they actually say that they wanted in their chants, did they say that they wanted you out of Rogers Park?
Yeah, pretty much. They said that, hateful speech has got to go. They said that, they were chanting that pretty frequently. They were saying what we were saying on social media was hate speech, even though we weren't directly targeting anyone at any time. We were just sharing jokes. And yeah, they were saying that they wanted us out. They would say that every once in a while, like, you gotta go. They would put chalk messages on the sidewalk, like threatening chalk messages. So that was funny, but the rain washed it away. And other than that, through the reviews and such, people were like, we want you out of Rogers Park, stuff like that. So those were pretty easy to take down, but that's pretty much as far as it went. Nobody came to us in person after that.
Did anybody ever threaten physical harm?
So actually there was one gentleman, and you can actually watch this. There's a live stream on Xander Kazanowski. You can look up his Facebook page, and it might be hard to find because it was a couple of weeks ago, but there is a live stream that was posted to the public. And there was this one man, he was an older gentleman, and he actually did walk right up to Xander, walked right up to him and started threatening to hurt him. So it got really close to a physical altercation, but we had to stand our ground and stay calm because this gentleman was clearly unhinged. So he got real close to us, but this other woman actually spit in his face. We still have not found her identity, and you can also find that on the live stream as well. But this woman, we do not know her name. We only have a very clear picture of her face. She said that she was a law professor at some nearby university, or maybe it's like a college prep professor. But she spit right in Xander's face, and she spit in his face, I believe 3 times. 3 times she spit in his face, and you can see that on the video. It cuts out a few times, but you can see I think 2 of the 3 times where she spits, and she ran away, and we haven't been able to find her. So justice still needs to be served. This woman needs to be taught her lesson. She needs to be put behind bars, because you can't do that. You can't just spit in someone's face. So there were a couple of times where it got a little shaky. That was the first protest that happened.
So Xander filed a police report.
So the police did come, and they said that if she ever came back, we could press charges. So, unfortunately, we haven't been able to find her since. There were some efforts from the community to try to get her found as well. Some people made posters saying, "Have you seen this woman?" But unfortunately, no luck.
And she didn't come back for the second protest.
She did not. She did not, unfortunately.
And when she spit in Xander's face, did it get into his eye, or did it get into anywhere that did he become sick afterwards?
There has been some sickness floating around. I know that he was sick for a couple of days afterwards, and we both thought that could have been the reaction to that, because it was right in his face, right near all of his eyes, nose, and mouth, and everything. So there is a huge possibility that he could have gotten sick from that.
What was the reaction of the crowd after the woman spit at Xander?
You know what? I think that they were not expecting that, and they were they all kind of were in this mood where they really wanted to get us out of there. So honestly, as Xander was trying to walk away and try to get the cops, they all kind of swarmed him at the same time. And then after that, I think the second week, they were all very quiet, and there was no megaphones or anything. They just kind of all stood there. I think they learned their lesson from the first week, and they knew that it was wrong, because we got it all on video, but and then we kept recording just to make sure that we were safe. So yeah, that's kind of how it went, and the protesters learned their lesson from the first time.
About how many protesters were there and at the first protest, and how many were there at the second protest, just approximately?
Approximately, there was 20 to 30.
At both of them?
Yes. Yeah.
Did they look like pretty much the same people, or did they look like different people?
So there was a couple of people from the first protest that did not show up to the second one, just because they tried to get physical with us, or they were physical with us. So those people didn't show up, but there was a couple of new people that came as well from the community. So I would say it was around the same both times, just because there was a couple of different people the second time.
And what about that first time? You said that there was an older gentleman that that was was a little bit more violent in nature. Did he show up at the second protest?
Oh no, he did not show up at the second one. He had a cane, so we thought it was a little bold of him to be doing that. But he did not show up at the second one.
And how did he threaten Xander? Did Xander have to file a police report about that gentleman as well?
So there was no police report with that gentleman because nothing happened. But with the woman, that was definitely an issue that we had to deal with.
So you did call the police. Did the police take long to arrive?
So the first time we alerted them in advance because we knew about the protests from social media. Somebody posted the poster. So we alerted them in advance, and they actually had a squad car there to watch everything. And when it all kind of went down, there was this young cop that actually, he drove away when it was getting bad. I think he didn't really know what to do. But then the sergeants came afterwards and they said, that obviously wasn't right. And then they were helping us through it. They were there for the second protest, but really just to, watch and, keep the peace. Nothing really happened the second week. So, yeah, it was very interesting to say the least.
And when the woman spit at Xander, at that time was the police there, or it was during the time when the young officer had pulled away?
So the police were there, but they were watching from a distance when she spit on him. And then when she spit on him, he went to go follow her because she was running away kind of towards the police, actually. So he went to go follow her. And then he told the police when they were parked there. He said, this woman spit on me. The one opened his car door in between them. And that's when the younger cop kind of drove away, didn't do anything about it. So, this woman, she pulled down her mask and spit. You could see it clear as day. So it was, yeah.
And how did they say that this person was a law professor at Loyola? Who said that? And was there any do you know if there was any proof of that?
So I'm not certain that she was at Loyola, but she told Xander, the woman that spit on him, she said, I teach law. She didn't say where, but I teach law, so I know, a couple of things about it. And then she spit on him, so that was kind of funny, but she didn't say where. So that's the only fact that we have, is that she teaches law somewhere to some group of people. We're not sure.
And you mentioned that you had an alert that they were going to protest against you. Could you tell us a little bit about that alert that was posted on social media? Was it on Facebook?
Yes, it was on Facebook, and it was Gerardo. He put out a poster for the first protest, just rallying people. And I think we just happened to scroll by it because we're in the group, and it was just one day that we were on social media. So we just happened by it. Glad that we found out about it, because who knows, we might have not known about it, but it was just right there on our feed for us to see. So
what are you doing differently now from what you did before the protest?
Now that the protests were happening, or they did happen, we're doing a little bit differently. We're just boosting our online presence a bit more, and engaging with communities outside of Rogers Park, to try to bring people to the shop, and it's challenged us to find new ways to advertise. Of course, we still get our regulars in, they're great, and some other locals that weren't involved with the drama, they'll come too. So it's been a nice mix and a nice opportunity to reach out and broaden our perspective and horizons.
Your regulars, do you know where they live? Do they live in Rogers Park, or do they live outside Rogers Park? Most of them.
most of them live in Rogers Park, our regulars. Yeah.
Mhm. And you said that you wanted to, you were having difficulty in advertising in Rogers Park. Were you concerned about the reception of the ads, or were you not able to place ads as much as you wanted to?
So mostly I wasn't worried about the reception, but I knew what the reception would be. So honestly, I could post something today and it would get a lot of reach, but maybe I'd be kicked out of that group. I don't know. But I know certain groups would allow me to post something and certain groups wouldn't. So it just, I guess it just depends on, the time of day and who's in the groups. Um I wouldn't say I'm afraid to post anything. I'd say it's we've just been focused more on drawing people in from outside of the community. We do a lot on Facebook Marketplace, and that brings people in from other cities, other towns as well, other neighborhoods, and they love the shop. And they're like, "Oh, great! I'll come back." And we'll usually give them great prices and great deals because we're constantly getting new stuff in. We're not trying to make somebody spend an arm and a leg, but we'll bring people in from other neighborhoods and they really like the shop. So, if they're ever in the store again, they'll come through. So
Well, do you know if your customers from other neighborhoods, do they know about what happened to you, or they're just interested in your products? And of course, you get the you being a thrift shop, do you get donations too, or do you just find other ways to get your products?
so yeah, those are good questions. Those people, they come and mainly they're just there for the products. They like our prices, very just, non-judgmental about it. Some people, maybe they do. Some people they'll find out beforehand and they don't come, but it's all dependent on the person, and it's fine. We get enough people that, those few people that don't want to shop, it's like, fine, you don't have to shop here. It's fine. And then, you know, those people, we really appreciate them and their business. And for the second question, I'm sorry, I
I
totally
think
forgot.
yeah, how you get your donations, like
Right. Yes. So people, they do drop off donations. We get we ask, we recycle packing material and bubble mailers and stuff like that. So we we have like a little sign on the door that says we accept those things, like boxes and such. So we'll recycle those. Some people, they'll drop off clothing donations or even furniture. Sometimes people will drop them off. And other than that, we do source from, different places to get our items and make sure that we can still, do everything at a good price.
Oh, so lately there has been the issue with the migrants in the respite centers and at the police station. Was Boho Barbie Ken involved in any of those efforts to help those migrants?
Sorry about that. My dog was barking.
Yeah, I heard
So,
him.
so with the migrant situation, yeah, because I saw a lot of them were at the police station. So currently, we are accepting donations for clothing and other food items, and we drop them off at the police station whenever we can.
And do those people that are against you, do they realize what you are doing to help the migrants?
So I don't think they realize what we're doing. I think they're just very caught up in their own worlds and their own hatred. We also help a lot with animal rescue and rehoming. That's our main focus. Is we focus on helping animals find their forever homes. So we connect people with foster homes. We connect to like the person with a foster. So we have a couple of people that are foster parents, and our most recent rescue was an orange tabby cat. So we actually fostered him ourselves, and we gave him to a really good home in the community. So That I don't think a lot of people realize that, because we don't advertise it a ton, but we also accept, animal, like pet donations, like food, and if you have something extra lying around, we'll take it and I'll give it to local shelters.
Mhm. And how long have you been doing this? For the helping the migrants, and also with the animal rescue and fostering
So
and
for the
rehoming.
migrant situation, that's been fairly new, just because we weren't aware of the situation until we started going to the police station to let them know about the protests. But the animal rescue, we've been doing that for a couple of years now. I would say like 2 years, because we rescued we rescued our dogs, which you can hear, and then we started rescuing other animals and connecting people with fosters and such like that. We've just found it's really fulfilling to help these animals in need, and there's so many in Chicago. They just get abandoned, so we help them get cleaned up, and we'll get them all of their shots, and we'll connect them with the right home.
Mhm. And also when you do your uh for your new customers now, like every day, is there still much indication in except for social media about about those protests, about those people against you?
I would say there's no indication outside of social media. Um, we have posted a sign on the door that says no masks allowed, just because we've been experiencing a lot of people that wear facial covering and then they'll maybe steal some things in the shop. So we're just trying to avoid theft in that way.
Mhm.
Honestly, that's mainly what it is. And other than that, there's no indication about the protests happening. Maybe every once in a while someone will slap a sticker on our business and we'll have to take it off or something like that. But it's all online.
Mhm. So there's except for the sticker, there's nothing that's and nothing on the premises was damaged.
Nothing on the premises was damaged, although the second week there was this one individual. She was leaning on the shop window glass, so she was leaning on the window, and it almost broke. It was like, we were very worried it was going to break. So even my landlord, she saw the video and she was like, "Hey, just make sure that nobody's leaning against the window or anything." And this woman would just not listen to us when we kept telling her, like, "Hey, you can't be doing that, can't be leaning against the glass." But no damage was done, but hopefully it stays that way.
Mhm. And could you give us a little description about as much as you remember, about all the press that you have interviewed with, or who have written about this situation?
Sure, yeah. So the first interview we had was with the Loyola Phoenix, and that was about the opening of the shop. Just nothing related to the protests at all. After that, it was Block Club Chicago hopped on it pretty quick during the protests. They were the first ones to write about us and our situation. And then Loyola wrote another great article about, both sides, very fair article. After that, we were on the Dan Proft show in the morning. So we were interviewed, well, Xander was interviewed by Dan Proft on the radio. And after that, it was, mainly just local people coming in and showing their support. Maybe the occasional reporter, but nothing else. Like I said, the Washington Examiner, they wrote an article about us. And then, I think that's almost all, if not all.
And there was an incident about the Robert Lee artifact or something that was did it the other someone claimed that that is what started the protest, the Robert Lee antique or whatever that was.
You're right. So it was like a chalk. It was a chalk pastel drawing of Robert E. Lee, So we have these three portraits of military officials that are in the shop. Original paintings. They're really great. And I posted a video on Instagram one day, just flipping through the artwork that we have. And this individual commented like, "Oh, how much for the Robert E. Lee?" And didn't say anything negative, but they just asked how much was it. And I bet that was circulated on, the internet through Reddit, or these people have their Reddit groups, which, like to talk about us a lot. So we were getting some publicity through that just from a video I posted. Like, it wasn't anything like, promoting that. And we're not promoting anything really that's against that. So so it was just really funny to see. I mean, it's history. This person existed. So Xander could tell you more about Robert E. Lee in general, but he was an important figure in history, and we could all learn from him. But just because we had this painting in the shop, then they started to protest that. They call us racist and call us bigots, and call us all these names.
And did other businesses ever tell you that they have been they have been on the receiving end of something like this, but they don't want to really be public about it?
Yeah. So I think it's mostly people that are afraid of the receiving end. But other than that, it's some people were like, "Oh yeah, we've dealt with this on a much bigger scale before, so we understand what you're going through." And I think people, they see what we're doing and they admire it because they want to do it themselves.
Are you comfortable about talking of what that bigger scale was that they mentioned? How was it that what happened that was on a bigger scale than what happened to you?
So I don't know anything about it. They just mentioned real quick, like, "Oh yeah, we've dealt with this on a bigger scale." And I'm not going to mention the individual for sake of anonymous.
Yes.
Being anonymous, but they didn't say anything about it, but they just said like, "Oh, we understand," and they just were showing their support.
So of course, when you did when you started your business, you had your business plan. So you had some projections about how your business would be at a certain time of a certain point of the year. So judging from now, how are you doing according to your business plan? Did this incident hurt you in your projections for your business?
So initially, it may have hurt sales just from people walking in off the street and such, but long term, it has expanded our horizons to go outside of the neighborhood and look to actually a new location. We'll be expanding soon and getting a new location. We'll keep the other location as like a smaller shop, but we're looking with something with a little bit more storage, just because we get so much in from our other businesses that we do. We do a lot of junk removal and help out people in that regard. So that's how we get a lot of business and items. So, sorry, she's hungry, but
Oh, yeah, we're almost
that's
done.
how we're looking to expand soon. So I think that it's only helped us grow.
And you've never encountered something like this before elsewhere? This animosity and this backlash?
No, not elsewhere. I know Xander's gotten some pushback on social media before, just from random people, just for sharing his beliefs. But prior to this, I was a little bit more under the bridge with my beliefs. I didn't really speak about them too much, but now that I know that it's important to freely speak about these things and not let that go by the wayside. I definitely share what I think almost every day, if not every day. So.
Okay, thank you so much, Anna. owner of Boho Barbie Ken with Xander, for joining us on WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM and letting us know a little bit of the background behind this situation. And also, you
Thank
might
you.
as well, you could let our listeners know your location and how could they contact you if they wanted to maybe share their thoughts with you.
Sure, yeah, we're located at just around the corner from Clark and Greenleaf, and we're located at 1736 West Greenleaf Avenue, Chicago, 60626. And you can reach us at the store, come and say hi, or you can find us on social media at Boho Barbie Ken, and you can search us up on Facebook or on Instagram. So those are great ways to reach us. You could also go on our website and fill out the contact form. We'll have your email and ask for your number and stuff like that. So that's a great way to connect as well.
If you don't mind, one more question. How did you come up with the name Boho Barbie Ken?
So it was actually a term that one of our colleagues coined for us. Xander did a move for one of his colleagues, and she saw the two of us together, and she called us, the Boho Barbie Kens. So like Boho Barbie and Ken. So, but it's just Boho Barbie Ken. That's the name of the shop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you so much, Anna. Have a great
Thank
one,
you.
and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. This is WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM.